Welcome to Quicksand, the most important news in pharma and biotech this week. A federal judge in Delaware has overturned the jury's verdict requiring Gilead Sciences to pay a record $2.54 billion because its hepatitis C drugs, Sovaldi and Harvoni, infringed a patent held by rival Merck & Company. The verdict had been the largest ever in a U.S. patent case, but U.S. District Judge Leonard Stark in Wilmington, Delaware, ruled Merck's patent was invalid. He said it did not meet a requirement that it disclose how to make the treatment it covered without undue experimentation. Gilead in a statement said it always believed the patent was invalid and was pleased the judge confirmed that opinion. Merck in a statement said it planned to appeal and believed the judge's ruling did not reflect the facts of the case. The December 2016 verdict followed a trial in which jurors found that Merck's patent on hepatitis C treatments, which it acquired in 2014 when it bought Idenix Pharmaceuticals, was valid. Hepatitis C, estimated to infect about 3.2 million Americans, is a viral disease that causes inflammation of the liver that can lead to liver failure. Direct-acting antivirals, such as Gilead's Sovaldi and Harvoni, have revolutionized treatment, with cure rates of more than 90% shown in clinical trials. Idenix, the original holder of the patent at issue in the lawsuit, sued Gilead in 2013 in an effort to block the launch of Sovaldi, which was approved by the FDA in December of that year. Harvoni, which combines Sovaldi's active ingredient sofosbuvir with ledipasvir, was approved in October 2014. Merck sells its own hepatitis C drug, Zepatier. The company won a $200 million jury verdict last March in a separate patent infringement case against Gilead over hepatitis C drugs. But in June 2016, a federal judge in San Jose, California, overturned that verdict after finding that Merck engaged in a pattern of unethical conduct, including lying under oath. Merck has disputed the judge's ruling and is appealing. After more than a year and no shortage of drama, the Novartis bribery scandal in Greece is entering a new phase with a government investigation into 10 accused politicians. Greece's parliament voted after 19 hours of debate to set up a committee to oversee the probe, but there was intense back and forth during the discussion, with the accused saying the allegations were intended to sully them ahead of next year's elections. Even still, Prime Minister Alexis Tsipras said the situation was among the biggest scandals in modern Greek history and that the allegations can't be ignored. 10 former and current government officials are accused of taking bribes to help Novartis boost sales. They have all denied the allegations. Prosecutors are also looking into Novartis' role in the situation. Novartis has said it continues to cooperate with requests from local and foreign authorities and that it hasn't received an indictment. Last week, a spokesperson said the drug maker is determined to fully understand the situation and accept responsibility for any actions that fell below or high standards of ethical business conduct. Along the way during the investigation, one prosecutor has resigned, citing pressures she faced in the case, and a Novartis executive reportedly made a suicide threat early last year around the same time authorities raided the company's office and disclosed the probe. Last April, a justice official said on a radio program that thousands of people were likely implicated. The FDA finalized its version of the International Council for Harmonization's Questions and Answers companion to ICH's guideline on the development and manufacture of drug substances. FDA consulted on the draft version of the Questions and Answers document in February 2017, and following the consultation and similar consultations by other ICH regulatory members, the ICH Assembly endorsed the document in August 2017. Specifically, the Questions and Answers guideline is meant to expand on ICH's 2012 guideline on drug substance manufacturing, Q11, Development and Manufacture of Drug Substances. According to FDA, the Questions and Answers document provides additional clarification and to promote convergence on the considerations for the selection and justification of starting materials for drug manufacture, with a focus on the synthesis of chemical drugs. The guideline, which is the same as the version endorsed by ICH in August, includes answers to 16 questions on justifying and selecting starting materials, as well as 2 decision trees focused on the evaluation of a proposed starting material and determining which steps in manufacturing have an impact on the drug substance's impurity profile. From 2007 to 2016, the FDA approved more new drugs and biologics first than its European and Swiss regulatory counterparts, according to a comparison published in the European Journal of Clinical Pharmacology. From 2007 to 2016, 134 new drugs were approved by all three regulatory agencies. Overall, 66% of the drugs were first approved by the FDA, 31% by EMA, and 3% by Swissmedic. The difference in approval dates between the agencies was statistically significant, the comparison found. The review also offered some perspective on the indications approved by FDA, EMA, and Swissmedic, as the same drugs were similar in content for almost a quarter of drugs and different in more than three-quarters of the drugs. Significant differences in indications existed between the FDA and Swissmedic, and the FDA and the EMA, but not between the EMA and Swissmedic, said the review, written by researchers from the School of Pharmaceutical Sciences at the University of Geneva, Geneva University Hospitals, and Oregon-based Chapman University. And though cross-border regulatory harmonization has been a goal, the review notes in its conclusion that significant differences in the characteristics of new drugs approved by different agencies persist. The government of India has announced a major rejig of the Central Drugs Standard Control Organization, the drug regulator that grants approvals and monitors drug quality. The government elevated S.E. Reddy as new drugs Controller General of India and relieved G.N. Singh from the post with immediate effect. Singh was Controller General since 2012. Reddy, the first insider to be named as Controller General, has worked as Joint Drugs Controller before the elevation. His appointment will be effective for the next 3 months until a regularly appointed person takes charge. The agency followed the announcement with the transfer of 42 drug inspectors and technical officers, many from the organization's headquarters, to various zones across India. The government said the shakeup was enacted to strengthen the various zones and subzones. The Indian government has been drawing flack on quality of drugs sold in the country, as its own studies found out substandard drugs and drugs not tested sufficiently for safety and stability have been circulated and consumed by patients. The government, on its part, is trying to strengthen the regulatory agency by hiring more inspectors and technical officers, building capacity through training and conducting joint inspections, and sharing knowledge with US and UK drug regulators on best practices. Thank you for listening to Quicksand, episode 19, February 26, 2018.